wrote my first song. I'm gonna start really doing this.
Probably like 5 years ago. So that was about like maybe 1920.
Okay.
That's when I knew that, okay, maybe I could do this as an artist, being an independent artist, being a singer. I just had to really learn everything. So I had basically put together a mixtape. My mom was coming with me to the studio because, it's a male dominated industry. So studios are not always, this nice, basement, stuff like that.
Right.
So she was just kind of being the momager, and I was writing these cute little, bubbly little pop songs, put together album, did a photo shoot. But that was from there, gigs started coming, and I did that, and I was performing a lot of stuff live with my band, but I wasn't recording as much. So now I'm like in the studio recording a lot more content and getting stuff together now that I've networked and kind of been on the scene and have a little bit more knowledge. But I guess around 1920.
Okay.
It's a good age, yep.
Now you're fully Puerto Rican, or you like mixed
No,
up?
yep. So I'm biracial. My father's African American. My mother's Puerto Rican.
All right. Now, what kind of music was Mama Crush playing in the house? Like, what was around the house?
And so I guess that's probably why I was overly passionate. But my mom took me Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner, Lenny Kravitz. She was on that, like, you know what I mean? Real music, that singers type of stuff. So we,
Motherfuckers that sang.
yeah, right. So we joke because my mom was like, she was a single mother raising me, and so we didn't really have babysitting options. So she had gotten tickets to see Lenny Kravitz. So like when I was younger, I was like 9 years old, like going down the aisle, and there was all these old people, and I didn't know who Lenny Kravitz was.
Yeah. You was just
But
there.
he was like amazing. All I remember was he had like a big light up LK, and every time they did a hit with the band, the LK would go boom, 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 and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like 9, so I was just like getting jiggy, and I was doing like the heel toe down the aisle. So I was like an old soul. So that's where, like, I guess if people hear me perform live, I have like a really big voice, like one of the voices where people like sing some Whitney Houston.
Yeah, you do.
So that's probably where that where that came from. And that's the type of music she kind of had around the house. So
All right. Now, speaking of old school artists, you opened up for Gloria Gaynor. Mm-hmm. How was that, Mrs. I Will Survive?
it was good. She was very nice. She gave me like, she was very like kind of not mentor like, but she saw me like young, and
Right.
the way they do Jazz Up July is whoever's the opening act has to kind of have like some type of aesthetic like the person. So even though I don't have like soul music, I guess because of my voice and because I had a band, it worked.
Right.
So she was very much like an older presence and just really was like, keep going, and just gave me, really positive, warm vibes from like one woman to another.
Right.
I couldn't take a picture with her because she's very like weird about pictures. I think it's
Hate old people. Yo.
she don't look the same. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the promo picture, and then when you see, you're like, damn.
Yo,
That was
life came,
so long ago.
life came at you hard.
But
What happened to you?
it was just a great experience, and her band actually let my band use their equipment, which if you're in the gig world, that's like huge because they had like the best of the best. They had like sounds and stuff. We had like
Fender Rhodes and all that.
yeah, all
shit.
crazy. So my band was like, oh my god. So we had a really good time.
Word.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now you travel a lot performing. Now, what's your favorite place to perform, or just to go? Period.
You know what? I just recently fell in love with California. We went out there for a meeting 3 weeks ago. It was my first time going out there because my father lives in Atlanta. My family, my mom and my dad both were in the Army, so he's always lived in either North Carolina or Atlanta. When he was on base, it was North Carolina.
Right.
And so I always, around like the East Coast, I've traveled a lot, but never like to the West. So I went out there 3 weeks ago. I've been looking at plane tickets ever since.
Word.
Yo,
I'm like, I got it,
California,
gotta
is
go.
beautiful, yo.
It's just different, But I honestly, I do love New York. I love performing in New York. I love the vibe, but it's just New York is a tough crowd.
Right.
So I would be lying to
I
say
heard
that's
that
my
so many
favorite.
times.
That's
Right,
not
yeah.
my favorite. But when you do get a good crowd, it's bumping. But it's just so far. I think me and my band could probably think of one show that was just, it's our top, like probably one of our top 3, but we don't got that many that we could say people was like,
People was with it.
because they like,
They just think, all right.
me
What you
mugging
got
you
next,
like, she
yo?
gonna hit that, even if you hit that site.
It was alright. It was alright.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
homegirl could do it.
They see everything. They
Yeah.
get everything. They
Right.
see everything. So, but
But Cali does too, and they're still open.
they are. So that's why I'm like,
It's
I
the
don't
weather,
sun.
man.
Yo,
For real,
yeah,
for real.
yeah,
That's
I think it
the
is.
lack of vitamin D will
Yeah.
change your personal
For
behaviors.
for
I had
real.
this whole, I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, people who live in the islands, people who live in sunny places, they're
More
so
happy.
much more happier and laid back. And there's
Right.
people who take supplements for vitamin D, so it makes sense.
It's the Tims. Am I good?
It's the Tim. The Tim
In
do
our
something to your
circulation.
brain.
Down, like,
Hey, facts, my guy.
Turn that hello to AOB.
Domino, motherfuckers, what's